Hello, my name is Pastor Mike. I'm the pastor for Next Ministries, a new church launching in Chicago at the National Teachers Academy at 55 West Cermak Road on September 15th. We put together this brief preview series of what worship will be like for Next Ministries when you join us on the 15th of September. This series is called Lost and Found. This is the second part of the series, Facing Reality.
Not a second or another minute, not an hour of another day, no. But at this moment, with my arms outstretched, I need you to make a way as you have done so many times before, yes. Through a window or an open door, I stretch my hands to thee. Come rescue me, I need you right away. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. Not a second or another minute, no. Not an hour of another day. But Lord, I need you. Need you right away. The agony of being alone, fear of doing things on my own, the tests and trials, they come to make me strong. Oh, the feeling of guilt, hurt, shame, and defeat, the waves that come to beat upon me, but to know, Lord, that in you I've got victory. Yeah. I need you now, I need you and now. I need you now, oh, I need you now. Not a second or another minute, not an hour of another day. Please make a way, make a way.
Smokey Norfolk wrote the song, I Need You Now. He wrote it at a time in his life when everything seemed to be falling apart. His father had been ill, his wife was waiting for a diagnosis that they thought was going to be bad. His mother had experienced some being paralyzed. He had issues dealing with the fact that his grandmother might have to have an amputation. There were all these things that were going on in his life, and the world was crashing around, just down, just the pressure of it. And you know what that's like when everything seems to be going wrong and nothing's going right, and you feel the pressure and the weight of the world just bearing down on you, and it just feels like it's hard to breathe. Well, in that moment, he sat down at his piano and he just began playing, and he just started singing, I Need You Now. As he started singing that song, the words just started pouring out of him, because he had gotten to a point where he knew he couldn't handle it anymore. He needed some help. He reached out to God and cried out to God and said, God, I need you now. This is what happened for the son that we spoke about in the first part of this series from the parable of the lost son in Luke chapter 15. He got to a point where he had sold everything and he had spent all his money. He didn't have anything left, and he was sitting there in a position of being with the worst of the worst. I mean, he was in a position where he had nothing. He'd lost everything, and the world seemed to be crashing down on him, and he realized that, you know what? The reality is, I can't do this on my own anymore. I need somebody else. And so he started thinking about what he had left behind. He started thinking about his father that he wanted his inheritance from, and he wanted it now. He started thinking about his brother, his friends. He started thinking about, you know what? I need to go back home. I need to go back to the one who loves me, who cares for me, the one who will hopefully receive me back. And so what he does is he starts thinking about, you know, what do I need to do to get back to that place? He begins to cry out to his father. That's what he's doing. That's what Smokey Norfolk did. He cried out to God. And what's great about Smokey's story is that his father saw healing, his mother saw healing, his grandmother saw healing, and his wife saw healing, and they have children now. Children that have experienced a great life with their parents. But in our lives, sometimes we look at the pressures around us and we feel the weight of the world, and we just think that nothing can get better. Sometimes we feel like, you know what, I'm just stuck in this place and I can't get out of it. These are the moments that we need to cry out and realize that sometimes we need to go back to the places where we started. Sometimes the places where we started are the places where people care for us most. They love us and they're just waiting to receive us. This son realized that, you know what? I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's happening. I need to go back home. I need to go back to the place where I can be loved, I can be cared for. I need to get back to that place where I know that there are people who not only know me, but they've been my friends, they've been my family. They're the people who, no matter what you do wrong, they'll open their doors up again to you because they love you. What's interesting about this whole parable, and when you look at the parables, Jesus tells these parables to help us see the relationship that God has with us, his creation. And so for him, what he does is by going back to his father and saying, I need to go back to my father, he's really talking about, I need to go back to a relationship with God. I need to get back into that place with the one who loves me, who cares for me, who's taking care of me, who's given me everything. And when you think about it, his father literally gave him his inheritance. He gave him what he had. He poured it out on him. And even though he squandered it, he realized that, you know what? I need to go back to the one that loves me most. Sometimes we have these issues that we deal with in life. Sometimes it's a broken marriage because we've strayed away. Sometimes it's a broken relationship that we've forsaken for something else that we thought was going to be better. And we have to get back to that place to say, you know what, this is where I belong. This is where I need to be. And we find ourselves running back, seeking that forgiveness, seeking just to see some open arms receive us, seeking for somebody to say, you know what, I still love you, I still care about you. That's a hard thing to face, that reality. Because when you face that reality, you begin to look in the mirror at yourself and you begin to notice that I'm not as great as I thought I was. I mean, a lot of us think we're great. You know, we feel that we're great. We feel that there are so many great qualities that we have, but there are also some bad qualities that we have that we can improve on. And people see those things, but even though they see those things, they see deeper than what we have on the shell. It's like the story I told last time about Billy. We didn't know, all the things that were good about Billy because we hadn't seen those things. We had just seen the drug addict that walked the streets and was always looking for a handout. But when we really looked inside of Billy, we saw the beauty that Billy had to offer, not just to us, but to the world. God looks at you and sees the beauty that's inside of you and sees what you have to offer to the world. You have so much within you, so much to share, so much to give. But the thing is, sometimes we have to face the reality of where we are so we can get to the place where God needs us to be. For this son, it was that moment in his life where he said, you know what, I need to go back to my father. I need to break down, I need to go back, and I need to just admit, you know what, I've sinned against you. I have sinned against my family, my friends. I've forsaken everybody. Will you please receive me back home? And there's this beautiful moment when the father sees his son coming. He sees him at a distance. And what does he do? He doesn't condemn him. He doesn't talk negative about him. He opens his arms to receive him. This is the moment, this is the time in your life where you need to look at the things that you need to get back to. That may be coming back to church. It may be re-engaging with your faith. It may be starting on a journey of faith, because there's a God who loves you, a God who cares about you, and a God who created you. And there's so much good within you. The invitation is always there, though, for you to come back home.
So I'm going back to the Father, back to the one who offers forgiveness for all that I've done, as he runs to embrace me, calls me his son, and I'm home. So I'm going back to the Father, back to the place where all of my sin and shame is erased by his unfailing love and unending grace, and I'm home. So I'm going back to the Father, back to the one who offers forgiveness for all that I've done, as he runs to embrace me, he calls me his son, and I'm home. So I'm going back to the Father, back to the place where all of my sin and shame is erased by his unfailing love and unending grace, and I'm home. I am loved by you. You approve of me. I am home. I have found in you my identity, and I am home. I am loved by you. You approve of me, and I am home. Yes, I am. I have found in you my identity, and I am home. Yes, I am. I am loved by you. You approve of me, and I am home. Oh, I have found in you my identity, and I am home. So I'm going back to the Father, back to the one who offers forgiveness for all that I've done, as he runs to embrace me, calls me his son, and I'm home. I'm home. I'm home.
Sometimes we have to find home. Home is a place that a lot of us sometimes have a hard time finding because it seems so far away. With Next Ministries, we're creating a space and a place for you to find home, where you can ask questions and you can engage with others and begin to go on a journey of faith that will help you to grow. This journey begins September 15th at the National Teachers Academy at 55 West Cermak Road in Chicago. We hope to see you there because this is the time for you to come back home, come back to the faith, and for some of you to take that first journey and first steps of faith with us. We look forward to seeing you on September 15th.